would simply win.
She could win, and Dennis Kucinich could have won. Anyone that wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve right now has a
Kucinich wasn't
chance.
respected enough by the left, even though I liked him. Warren would win. And I'm not sure why she didn't run, because I think a third of conservatives would vote for her.
Warren made $850,000 a year teaching corporate law at Harvard. That's what's in her closet.
And what is wrong with that?
Have you ever met any lawyers that came out of corporate law at Harvard?
Well, what did she do specifically that's objectionable? I mean,
She
I'm willing
teaches
to learn.
people. Well, okay, now I like the woman.
No, I'm willing to learn. What did she do?
What she teaches law at Harvard. She teaches corporate law. She teaches people how to raid corporations, fire everybody, and get away with it. That's if you study.
Can you send me a specific link? Because that's very interesting to me.
Well, all you have to do is Google search Elizabeth Warren
corporate law,
Harvard corporate law, and you can
she talks a lot about corporate rating.
She teaches how to do it.
I will Google that.
Okay?
Thank you.
If you study corporate law at Harvard, that's what you learn.
I will check that out.
That's exactly what
Thank you for the tip.
Why do you think it's called the Harvard Crimson?
Bernie doesn't get to the forefront. Who would you vote for?
It's a terrible decision. I mean, I'd
know.
vote for Hillary, who's responsible for mass murder in Iraq, over Trump, who lost a federal lawsuit because he wouldn't let blacks in his apartments a few decades ago. He doesn't want Muslims in the country. Let me just finish, then you.
I'm not.
I just mentioned this, sir. 50 Americans have been killed by Muslim jihadists since 9/11. 50. You know how many white teenage boys, how many murders from white teenage boys in schools? Hundreds. So wouldn't it make sense mathematically to keep the white teenage boys out?
I feel like statistically that's incorrect. I don't know if that's correct.
Look it up
I will.
Look it up
How many
anywhere.
plots have been foiled? Plots have been.
I feel like
Well, how many plots from white teenage boys
over
have been
60
foiled?
plots have been foiled in the years since 9/11.
Well, how many?
Have you remember the
Are we talking
suicide
about-
bomber in Times Square?
Well, how many teenage
That could
boys
have
were
killed
foiled?
hundreds. That could have killed hundreds of people.
are you saying that Muslim extremists have only killed 60 people since 9/11?
In America. And that's what we're talking about, because Trump is talking about who's coming in. And white teenage boys have been, and who knows how many white teenage boy plots have been failed. I don't know.
Wait till they kill
So yes,
I feel like 60
If we
isn't.
let everybody in,
Wait till they
I
kill
feel
a
like
few
60
hundred
isn't the right number.
well, I mean, why?
I
why
mean, San
Muslims-
Bernardino was only
Why Muslims
was
versus
14.
white teenage
Why'd you say
boys?
white teenage boys? Why not black teenage boys? How many did they kill?
More.
because
How many?
proportional.
More.
So let's keep them out too.
Exactly. According to Trump's logic.
It's not his logic at all.
Well, what is his
We're
logic
just
with
saying to
Muslim
stop
extremism?
until we get it under control.
Well, then why not white boys and black boys who
Because,
kill more than
because
Muslims?
worldwide, proportionally, radical Islam is causing more havoc than white teenage boys. And if we're going
Okay,
to
so we
have-
should act like the world? That's the
country
last
is
thing
going-
Trump will
The
say.
country's going broke. The dollar's collapsing as we speak.
another
and we're
issue.
worried
That's a
about
separate-
Muslim boys.
I was here on
versus
9/11.
white boys.
I watched the towers
You're all going to
come
be
down,
broke.
and yes, it affects me to this
You're
day.
going to be wiped out. The banks will close this year, and you will be completely wiped out. You're out.
That could be
Economy is
true.
one issue.
Okay?
That could
It's
be
not the
Terrorism's
economy.
another
It's
issue.
not the economy.
But Trump
But what
wants...
I'm saying is, he's not. Everyone keeps repeating this rhetoric that the media put, which is that he wants to ban all Muslims.
He does. He said
He
a
didn't.
he said a temporary stop until we
On Muslims
figure
that
things
are
out.
illegal.
Migrants, the
No,
migrants.
he said a stop to Muslims. Not illegals. Everybody wants illegals out.
He didn't want
temporary.
refugees. He said he didn't say like.
Okay. But he still wants it.
Worldwide,
Everybody forgets about that.
But we're worried about Muslim terrorists. Give me a break.
All they want to do is get them stirred up so
Trump's the Knight of Malta, okay? If you understand what a Knight of Malta is, and you know who Donald Trump is, okay?
that?
He's the CEO of 296 corporations. Okay, a Knight of Malta. Michael Bloomberg's a Knight of Malta.
Okay.
Rupert Murdoch's a Knight of Malta.
Okay.
Henry Kissinger, head of the Kissinger Group, the largest consulting firm in the world, is a Knight of Malta. You want me to continue? So is Donald Trump. If you are a Knight of Malta, you can go to any bank in the world, and if you want $5 billion to tear this building down and put a new one up, they'll give you the money. That's a Knight of Malta.
Let's get back to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
I get rid of the Federal Reserve. And I'm all for it. I just don't see how they do it. Ted Cruz wants to get rid of the IRS. He said
Ted
that's one of the first things
Cruz's
he's gonna
wife
do.
is an attorney for Goldman
matter.
Sachs. It does matter.
No, not the
It does matter.
So Clinton can't be because of the connections to Goldman Sachs, Obama. Everybody's connected.
The last real president
Everybody's
this
connected.
country had was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. He tried to shut down the Federal Reserve. He tried to shut down the IRS. He tried to shut down CIA, and they blew his head off for
Right.
all of us to see.
But
Now, when you're elected president, they show you the Zapruder film and then ask you if you have any questions. Seriously.
I agree with a lot of what you said. You're going a little far here. Okay, because in my opinion, it's the mob that knocked off JFK.
Well, okay,
And I'm Italian, so I
no.
can say it.
You want to know who it real? Okay, this took me. I own a research company, so I do this stuff for a living. People hire me to research stuff that they use to market their companies, go to court, whatever they do. It's not. It's a lot of work, but
It sounds interesting, though.
But it takes you down rabbit holes you don't want to go down. Okay, the 5 families. Let's talk about the 5 families of New York. Fascinating subject, right?
It is.
Okay. The 5 families of New York were protected by who? How were they allowed to stay in business? Why did J. Edgar Hoover look the other way and not go after Lucky Luciano or the Gambinos or the Bonanos or the Lucchese's or anybody?
Yeah, Genovese even.
And who was J. Edgar Hoover answering to when he said the mob, they don't exist?
The president, I assume, or the attorney general. Who?
Kennedy hated Hoover. He wanted him gone.
Robert. John? I don't know if John did. I know Robert did.
They both did.
I didn't know that. I
They
didn't know
both
John
wanted
did.
Hoover gone because Hoover forced them to take Lyndon Johnson as their running
I have
mate.
no doubt that Hoover could have been involved in that.
Okay. Who was Hoover answering to? That's the real. That's a question that I pondered
What's
for
the
about
answer?
10 years.
After 10 years, what's the answer?
Okay. Have you ever been to the Vatican?
Long time ago.
Okay.
Long.
Have you ever seen how the Vatican is guarded? That 1 square mile. That's a separate country, by the way.
Guard or whatever they're called.
The Swiss Guard.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's 1 square mile. It's a separate country. It's
Yeah.
a sovereign country. It answers to no
I
one.
understand.
Okay. The Vatican Bank runs the City of London. The City of London runs Wall Street. When they were doing Occupy Wall Street, they invited me to come down and speak about this, and I was recorded by every TV network in the country, from CNBC to MSNBC. The Iranians were there. They were all listening because I could back this all up. The Vatican Bank runs it all of it. They own it all. When the Nazis got done plundering Europe, where did they put all their wealth? On the way out, because they all escaped.
Yeah, it had to be somewhere.
They put it all in the Vatican Bank, and in return for that, the Vatican got all the Nazis out on the Vatican rat line. They hid them in churches and monasteries
I never heard that one before.
and got them all out of the country.
Really?
All out of Europe, so they could all come here. They didn't go to South America, they came here. Now, when you start to unravel all of that, then you find out who the Knights of Malta are.
Yeah.
You find out that when they have UN Week every year, go to the Waldorf at the end of UN Week, okay? Just stand out in front.
Okay.
On Friday night, the last day
The
of
last
UN
Friday of
Week,
UN Week, okay.
you will see all the Knights of Malta walking down like 50th Street in their Knight of Malta costumes.
I gotta make a note. I'll forget. I have no memory anymore.
Okay, they don't even hide this shit.
But you were getting into the JFK thing. You got a little sidetracked.
Okay, well, JFK signed an executive order in 1963, in July of 63. Executive Order 11,110.